Hello and welcome to another day with the Knorps. Today I am going to give you an update of the garden. If you recall, 2 or 3 months ago I was putting it in and feeling a little overwhelmed and wondering if I could make it work, and I'm happy to report that it has totally worked and that I've been learning a lot. It just makes me really happy. Life is cool that way because things you didn't know how to do, you learn how to do, and then you know how to do them. So I'll come back and give you a little tour of it, but right now I'm taking 4 of the kids to the local nursery because 2 of my Roma tomato plants are done producing, and I can put something new in and hurry and scoot in one more summer crop before, you know, our first frost date and before the fall garden. So we're gonna go over to the nursery and see what I can find. And also I wanna get some gardening gloves. I haven't had them because I wanted to make sure that I was really gonna do this thing. But now I really need to get some because I'm always getting little pricklies from like the squash and zucchini leaves and stuff. Going into this local nursery with these 4. The boys are on an adventure hike. We'll be there for a few days.
I'm like, jump out of water, Raj. They're not, exactly. Oh my God, that's crazy. That is insane.
And your shirt is appropriate for this store, Pearl?
Thank you.
Influencer, appropriate for the video. I found that at the thrift store. I know they have seeds over here. Lots of flowers. Someday I'll have a really pretty flower garden too, once we're out of the rental. I also need some gloves. There's some right here. Ooh, I like these. These are legit, huh? I'll have to look around and see. These are all super pretty.
I like the glass ornament kind of thing.
Yeah, you can put little air plants in that don't need much. These are all air plants, I think is what they call them.
Mom, for me, not to choose frogs. Frogs inside the box.
It's actually carnivorous plants. Those are pretty incredible in there. So something that is interesting about gardening is I've read a lot about it over the years and watched a lot of videos and dabbled in it. But I really believe, like most things, but especially with gardening, you can't really grasp it until you're doing it. And so at the beginning of the season, I put in my tomatoes and I knew that there was a difference between determinate and indeterminate, and that determinate would produce all at once and indeterminate would just produce until your first frost, you know. But I didn't really understand that until I went out into the garden this week and saw that my Roma tomato plants were 2 of them were no longer producing and looked like they were really struggling. And then I realized, oh, that's what that means. They'll produce for 2 or 3 weeks and then the plant dies. Which I'm actually excited about because now I get to learn some more things and try out some other things. I have 116 days until our first frost. So that means if I can find a plant that can reach maturity in less than that, and it'll give me enough time, it'll reach maturity and then you have your harvest time after that. So if I find one that goes quickly into maturity and then I can harvest, you know, I have maybe a few weeks of harvest on top of that, I've actually got plenty of time to do another summer crop. Once my cucumbers are done and my squash and stuff, I'll be able to plant my fall garden. But today I'm looking for something summery. I could do tomatoes again probably if I wanted, but I thought since this is all about learning and here in our rental, that I would try something I haven't done before, but I don't know what that is. Beautiful flowers.
Oh, look at that flower right there.
Ooh, pretty. So cool. Uncle Matt has a bunch of these. Look at the colors on those.
Wait, Uncle Matt has this?
Yeah. Beautiful. I was really hoping to find, and I knew there was a less chance to find some sweet potato starts. And if not that, then pumpkins. The only pumpkins they have, I guess everybody's thinking along the same lines, are these Jack B. Little. But these are just like, I want actual pumpkins we could eat. They do have some butternut squash, but it's 100 days to maturity. That only leaves 2 weeks for the fruits to grow to maturity, or the vegetables, or the squash. I think it's actually technically a fruit. So I'm not finding anything from their seeds that I like. Right down the street, we got the big box stores, so I might go check out and see what they've got. And if not, I do have a bunch of seeds at home that I could look through and see if there's a good match in there, because I'm looking for something that can maybe have a little bit shorter growing season, something maybe that's like 60 to 90 days or less, or 60 to 90 days, but leaning towards the 60. Something that I haven't grown before and that I would like. So I have grown sweet potatoes before, but not as effectively. So I have one sweet potato plant now, but it would be fun to have more, and especially to be able to harvest them in like October. Okay, now we're at Lowe's and we're gonna look at the summer plants they still have available. Got a squash there, golden griller squash, more tomatoes, more basil. I got plenty of that. Let's see. Oh look, they've got some watermelon, some eggplant, some zucchini. I already have that. We've got some little pumpkins, weeby little. Baseball-sized pumpkins for cooking, crafts, and decoration.
Ooh, we should get those.
Harvest time, 90 to 97 days after planting.
Ooh.
That's cutting it close, but I guess it's already started, so let's keep looking. More tomatoes. Bunch of herbs, which I don't need. Got tons of jalapenos. Let's go inside and see what they have. Oh wait, just a few more. Butternut, baby butternut. That's cute.
Yeah, it's cute.
I can't remember if I planted a butternut. I planted some squash, just started it. Those are really big though. Okay, let's go inside and see. All right, all the seeds that were at the store got taken to a different one, and there are no seeds here. Maybe I should try those butternut. I'm gonna go look at them one more time and think about it. The baby butternut squash were like this big, and that's not really what I wanna do. So I'm gonna go home and look through my seeds and see about starting something on my own. I'm back home, and this is my little gardening binder. I keep lots of different things in here. This has been really helpful. I found on the internet Charlotte planting dates where I'm at. And so it tells me when I can plant different things and when to transplant them. And that's been really helpful. And so I also have been keeping my seeds in here. And I can't plant carrots quite yet. But I didn't realize I had some sunflowers. And I wouldn't have thought of planting sunflowers before, but I know that you can feed the seeds to your chickens and they love them. So I think I might try these. And then I also have these, my pumpkins aren't long enough, and I think I already did one of these. I can't remember. I will have to see what it is. I'll show you what I mean when I show you the garden. But Greenstock Garden, I love their towers. I've been using them since last year, and I didn't remember, but these seeds came with the towers when I got them. And I think I can grow these, and I'm just gonna fill like the whole tower with beans and then try my hand at flash freezing the beans and being able to eat them later on by keeping them in the freezer. So I think they store for up to 6 months or so. So I'll show you what I mean right now. Let's go out there. These are my Greenstock towers, and you can see that everything's looking kind of sad there. I've already harvested it, and they're kind of at the end of their season now. I had a bunch of greens in here, and I would use them for the rabbits and for ourselves. And then I had catnip that just has like taken over this tower. So I'm gonna use this tower, and even though it's convenient to have it by the door, because I thought, oh, then you can easily harvest, but you water a lot more than you harvest, and the water is over on the other side of the house. So I'm gonna move it over near the water by the rest of the garden, and I think that will make things a lot easier for me. There's the rosemary I planted there. I got rosemary for free, and so even though this is a rental, I didn't mind planting it. Okay, so here's the garden. These boxes we made so that we could take them with us when we moved out of the rental, and they've been doing great. The only thing I have noticed is I got soil from Costco in these, and then decided to do a third box, and I just got it from like Lowe's, and this soil has not done as well as Costco's. These plants struggle a lot more to keep hydrated. This Roma was a little younger than the others, so it's still producing, but you can see these are starting to look pretty sad, and I think they're dying, and it's the end of their season. So this is the space I have now that I can fill. My jalapeno plant is just producing way more jalapenos than I can keep up with, so I am planning on doing at least one pickled jalapeno jar. These are my big boys, and they are indeterminate, so they just keep growing. My basil's done really well. I have 3 basil plants. Probably didn't need 3, but maybe I'll make a bunch of pesto eventually here. Our cucumbers are starting to look a little sadder. These are pickling cucumbers, and they don't get too big, but they have tasted really good. And they grow so fast sometimes that I miss them, and then they don't taste as good. And I've given those to the chickens, and they absolutely love them. So it's kind of fun to have some chicken feed. Here I've got some greens growing. Though really, it's kind of hot for the greens I planted here. So we'll see if they do okay. Like this is little baby kale. It's so cute. I threw some radishes in here because I heard that they did well. They would help. They're a good companion plant for your vining squash. These are spaghetti squash, these 2. And I don't know what that one is. Or no, these 2 are spaghetti squash. I don't know what that one is. I planted it, and I don't know if it's a pumpkin or a squash. So we'll find out. My zucchini didn't do as well this year. That's why I had the space to plant these new spaghetti squash. I had planted 2 zucchinis, 2 yellow squash, sorry, excuse me on that. And they've just been really struggled, while my zucchini has done really well. So really happy with the zucchini right here. But look at the difference between these zucchini plants. I'm not really sure what happened there. Asher threw a sweet potato in a pot and it just started growing like crazy. And so I threw it in a single piece of a green stalk garden tower, and you can see it is just, and I think it was a sweet potato from the house. It is just taken off. And then I've got some sage, some lavender, and then some thyme back there. These boxes are made of just regular scrap wood, but since it's a rental and we just set them on the ground, it's okay if they don't last, you know, for the years to come. This we did out of cedar so that we could take them and they could last. And they've been doing great. The main thing is they do dry out a lot quicker because the water drains out the bottom. So that being said, I'm going to remove these and plant the sunflower seeds there. And I'm gonna move the green stalk garden over here and place it right here. One more thing I forgot to mention is we did do a timer on a drip system, and that's been awesome. If I went back, I put the drip system in after the plants, so I had to do all this weird snaking around. I think I would definitely do that differently and just do 2 straight lines going down this bed, and then plant my seeds where the drip system is. I've been able to do that a little bit more here since I've been moving my plants around, and this has worked like a champ. It's really done well with the vining plants, and I'm really happy with the cattle panel. I have all of this catnip. I kind of planted the catnip on a lark, just like, oh, that's fun. I think it was maybe on sale, and it is just taken over, which I guess isn't too surprising because it's in the mint family, and mint will do that too, which is great if you like mint. But just know that if you're planting mint in your garden, it takes over. It's invasive. Already gone through dried a whole bag of it for the kitties, which they do love, and it is stronger than the catnip I get at the store. Okay, so there's my water basin that goes on the top, and this is what you fill so that it can trickle down through the layers. So Greenstock sent these, and it says they grow well in a Greenstock vertical planter. First, fill planters to the top with high quality potting mix, then plant 3 seeds evenly spaced about 1.5 inches deep per pocket. That's awesome. So I don't know how many are in here, but we'll just plant. I'm gonna start on the other side because usually I have these on wheels, but because I'm putting it on the ground like this, I just put it directly on the ground instead of having it on the wheels. So I'll plant the beans on this side where they'll get full sun and see where we're at. I think I'm actually gonna add a little bit more soil. It is a hot one out here. You probably can't see, but I am literally dripping with sweat down my face. Got my linen shirt on that I got on Amazon, and I love it. It works so well, it keeps me cool. But there's no way around the heat and humidity the last couple weeks out here in North Carolina. Look, can you see I'm dripping? Another thing that I've learned how to do this summer is make rabbit poo tea. Rabbit poo has so many great nutrients in your garden, and you can throw it right in, the little poos, and it'll be like a slow release fertilizer. But if you really want to get all of the nutrients out of it, you can put it in a bucket of water, like you know, I get a good amount of rabbit poo and put it in a bucket and let it sit for a couple of days, and then I use that and I water my plants with it. For really nutrient rich food. One of the things that's awesome is most poo, chicken poo, most manures, you have to put, they're hot, so if you put them right on your plants, they would burn them and kill them. But rabbit poo is one that you don't have to do that with, which is pretty dang awesome. So same with llamas. We used to have a couple of llamas on our pasture when we had some property. They were friends and they stayed at in our pasture, and they always would poop in the same place for about a month at a time, and then they'd move on to a different spot. But that spot would become, the grass would grow up so thick, green there. It was awesome. And the rabbit poo is the same. I'm gonna pour all of these in my pocket. Can you see those? So I put them 1.5 inches deep, about. And the cool thing is these are bush beans, so they don't need support. You know, like a bean tower that you would have for a lot of beans. So I think in just a few weeks, this whole thing will be covered with bean plants, bush beans. I heard it all my life, how happy gardening makes you. But boy, it works. It has been so restful for my soul. It feels like the exact opposite of how watching the news makes me feel. I feel grounded, no pun intended. I feel happy and hopeful. I guess it's because I'm seeing the progress of my plants. It's a scorcher. I'm sweating. My camera died because of the heat, but I cooled it off in the freezer, and now I'm just gonna put some water in this and yeah, wait for the beans to grow. This tower is so awesome because it uses all this vertical space, and you could just do it on your driveway, on your patio, on your balcony if you're in an apartment or a condo, and grow so many things in it. So if you can still grab one, and you can have a fall garden in just about every part of the country, the United States, and you still have time to be growing a lot of things this fall. Just think, you could have a whole tower of lettuce. How awesome would that be? And you see the little drip system working? It's awesome. Last year we even successfully harvested some carrots from here, which is crazy, but it has these nice deep pockets. I'm leaving all of these empty because, like I said, the bush beans need a lot of sun, but I will plant them out in a month to 6 weeks with fall crops. And I'm actually going to put the other tower here and prepare it for planting fall crops as well. Broccoli, kale, maybe some cabbage, just things along. I don't know if a cabbage could fit in there. I'll have to look that up. Maybe broccoli can't either, but I have some space here and over here, but I could just do a whole tower of kale and romaine and things, which we eat a lot of at our house. We got this little system at the local garden center where the kids work. It's like an ice cream shop and a garden center in the spring and fall. And the owner, Gary, is super nice, and he likes these way better than cages, so we're giving them a try. They are easy to assemble and disassemble, and they're also easy to move around and store. There were a couple green tomatoes on here, but I'll give them to the chickens. It's lightly sprinkling, but I'm gonna hurry and try to get just a few of these seeds in. Sow seeds about 8 inches apart. Gotta pick everything up and get inside. The rain came. So, got a few tomatoes to pick. Everything else looks good. I think the rain coming is probably great. Since I planted a few things today, it'll just help it even more. Now I gotta go inside to take my second shower of the day. Well, it rained for a long time. It's super hard and lots of lightning. Look, a rainbow. I just saw that. That's happy. Thanks for joining me today. And thanks for your tips and your love and your support. I'll let you know how I wanted to make sure that the rain didn't destroy any of the plants, and it doesn't look like it did. It looks like everything is still happy as can be. I'll let you know how it works out with this second round. I should be getting some big sunflowers. I don't know, that's kind of a gamble. And then how everything does in my fall garden. So I'll update you probably at the once I'm putting in the fall garden. But thanks for coming along, guys. We love you. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And head over to knorppandsouth.com. See ya.